Welcome to the Fight Game with Icewater and Puma. And this is our end of the year show. So we're going to give you our top 10 pound for pound in this particular show and talk about some boxing news. But I will give you the honor of putting your top 10 together, sir, because you have some surprises in your top 10. I know I have some surprises in my top 10. A lot of people aren't going to like me after I give my top 10, but I don't care. I see them, call them like I see them.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard because I'm trying to wrap my head around the people that are. In fact, one person I almost left out because I forgot, and I'm trying to think about champions. I'm trying to think all that has transpired, and most importantly, where they're at right now in their careers compared to other people. Okay. So it may not be exactly what everybody's talking about, and if I forgot somebody, that going that I did, but I'm gonna go off what I saw the last year and then what I think is going to happen. So I think I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 10-10 and go backwards.
Same here.
So initially I was going to pick one guy at number 10. And then I was like, does he have a belt? Does he have doing anything, whatever like that too? But number 10, I'm going to go with Jermall Charlo. Okay. I know the Charlos have not fought in a long time, but based off what they've done, Jermall Charlo has just been a monster and waiting. I'm hoping that he's going to be able to get some real big fights coming up. They need to pull him off the shelf. But when he's on, he's money. And, I'm going to go with Jermall Charlo because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jermell is the lower weight, correct? And Jermall is, so Jermall, the upper weight. There's some great fights coming up that he could possibly jump in with the winner of that Benavidez, Plant fight. I would love to see that. But when he gets in there, he really comes strong and he's a heavy hitter. So Jermall Charlo plus with the belt as well too. So number 10, Jermall Charlo. Surprise you here. Number 9, Shakur Stevenson. And the only reason why I'm putting Shakur so low is because of the fact that he's leaving 130, going to 135, and he's going to have to prove himself at 135. I think he's more than capable. But I think he should be recognized in the top 10. Once he started cleaning things out and fighting some people at 135 and proving himself, I'm definitely going to move him up. But right now, I don't think it's fair to some of the other guys that have been around there for a while to just kind of throw him around. But he definitely deserves to be in there, leaving 130 and now moving to 135, ready to step up at number 9 there for Shakur Stevenson. Number 8, just because, and I think he's going to come back with vengeance, and you still got to give him his love, whether or not you love him or not, and what he's capable and what might come down the line is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is number 8. I like what Deontay does. I think he has opportunity if he fights a couple guys coming down the line. I think he's going to be able to show you that he's back. Mm-hmm. A couple big fights with Joshua maybe. Also, some other folks. And of course, Fury's maybe possibility. But what was the guy's not fighting? Not Ortiz. What's the other guy that he's supposed to be fighting? Remember?
Ruiz.
Yeah, so Ruiz, I like to see that fight. But there's some big possibilities, and I think he deserves to be at 8. A lot of people never gave him the love when he was champion, so I'm going to throw him at 8. Number 7, just because on principle what he was able to do, I'm going to give it to Mr. Usyk. Be able to come from cruiserweight, moving up, and then take down the champion like Anthony Joshua, not once but twice, and he's sitting pretty with the belts. Hopefully, we're going to get that fight coming up with Fury. Anybody that has 2 belts and you move up to a division like he did to the heavyweight division and masterfully win that fight twice, he deserves some recognition in the 10. So he's 7. Number 6. Because I have to, not saying I like it the way he did it, but I got to give it to him because he's still relevant, more than relevant. And some people think he's the face of boxing. Canelo Alvarez is number 6. People are like, Canelo 6? Yeah, you got to stop, for me, going to these divisions where a lot of people don't know them and not saying they vacant champions because these are guys that were undefeated. But when we start looking at the real talent levels, then it's like you can do better than that. And when you think about what nobody else is beating them because they haven't fought anybody else of relevance, right, except for guys in their lane. So, but still, it's still Canelo. Hopefully, one day he'll kind of come together and give us what we're really looking for. But who knows? But it's still Canelo. Number 5, just based on what he's done and setting precedents, doing some things very young, but still able to hold on to it, and he's a champion, Devin Haney. Devin Haney has had one hell of a year. He said he wants to continue moving on. Possibility that they're going to be in some discussions with Lomachenko next. Would love to see that fight. And he says he's going to keep building up, according to some of his folks. And he doesn't walk away from a challenge, even when he has the belt. So Devin Haney is number 5 for me. Number 4, people are not going to like this, but it is what it is. Number 4 is Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is probably one of the most talented fighters in the welterweight division, let alone in boxing. And I know what he's done, and a lot of people want to put him up higher. But for me, it is hard to move a guy that has one belt above guys that have multiple belts.
Yeah, same here.
So if you want to win and say you're the top guy, you got to go get that belt. And I know he's trying to get that belt, the opportunity, but it's hard for me to do that with one belt. If I really thought you were so much better than a potential opponent in Spence, then I would move him up. But I don't want to do that with one belt. So, and that might be the fault of your promoters that you had in the past, but neither here nor there, you only have the one belt. Number 3 is Errol Spence Jr. Just because of the factor that he does have the belts, and he's proven that he will fight a number of people. And I know that Crawford's going back and trying to fight some of the people that he already faced, but you can't knock what he's done. And as much as I want to see the fight with Crawford come next year, I know that said Errol Spence Jr. had a car accident recently, another one, where a kid ran into him, whatever, and he got a setback. I hope for the fans and also just to put things in perspective, I want to see him fight Keith Thurman next. And I want to see him fight him, I want to see him dominate him, put him out the pasture, and then say, you know what, if I don't get you the end of the year, I'm going to get you to early next year, tell Terence Crawford, let's get it on. But he's my number 3 because Spence just continues to show you he'll fight anybody. He's not afraid of anybody. And the one thing I want to see with Terence Crawford is sometimes he has, while he's great and can move and he can catch you and he can knock people out, he has a tendency at times to put his hands down and get hit. And when Spencer's coming forward with those body shots, which I don't think anything he's faced ever before like that in his career, I want to see that fight. And I think that's going to make it, the fight for both fighters, very interesting because they both are vulnerable in certain places that the other can capitalize on. Number two, had a hell of a year, still having a great year, moving up soon in weight, I think a little bit. Mr. Inoue, the monster, one hell of a year. What can you say? Came in, dominated, taking no prisoners. Maybe be moving up to 122 as well soon. He had just destroyed, was it Butler? Was that 118, whatever he fought him at? Destroyed him. That one destroyed him. So he's a hell of a fighter. I want to see him keep moving up if he can and fighting some little bit more talent. But you can't take that one from number 2. And my number 1 pick, people don't like it, but the one thing I have a problem with, I don't understand with this guy. Guy's shown you who he is. He's displayed his talent. He's been more than dominating. How can you be in his position in this level and face all of the best guys that he can find? And you want to place him at 5? I had my doubts early, but damn it, he's the best when he's in there. Tyson Fury. Okay. Number 1. Okay. When you beat Wilder the way that you do and stay in there and not get knocked down and just handle your business. He used to talk a lot and run his mouth and you didn't really know if he was the real deal. That dude's the real deal. I want to literally see him versus Usyk. because Usyk, you're not going to be able to run from this dude. You will get hit. Same way if Usyk was to fight Wilder. If you get in the ring with these dudes, we're going to find out whether or not you can take that punishment coming up from whatever. For some reason or another, Joshua wasn't able to put the pause on him, and he wasn't the same fighter he's been. But with these two big dudes slinging them those gloves like that, that leather towards not young, so much a younger dude, but a smaller guy, they will knock you in the next week. So, but Tyson Fury has shown me for the last 2 years, there's nobody more dominating in the sport of boxing when he wants to fight.
Okay, you're gonna be mad at me in my list because
no, go ahead, do you? This is you.
That's got some of the same people on the list, but I have them in different orders. Okay. I got to stick with Shakur Stevenson at the number 10 spot because he's dominated people in his division. He's going to move up. He's growing into his grown man body at this particular time. I think he's 25 years old, and I haven't seen anybody so young at his age being able to execute and learn the science of boxing and dominate folks in the ring like him. I have to go number 9 with Beterbiev. Got to go with him at number 9. Number 8, here's where we differ. He's your number 1, but he's my number 8, Tyson Fury. Because there are so many other fighters that I put on the list that I think have accomplished a little bit more than he has. He's in the top 10, but I just don't think he's the guy I would put at number 1. And I want to wait until he fights Usyk, who was on my list too, to see whether or not he can get past that test. And then if he gets past that test, I will put him where Usyk is on my list, but we haven't gotten there yet. Bivol, I have to put at number 7, and he's just been a dominating fighter, Dimitri. And I was thinking of putting him ahead of Canelo on my list, but I kind of want to see him fight a little bit more. I put Terrence Crawford at number 6 because he hasn't proven to me that he really wants the fights that will put him at pound for pound number 1. There's always an excuse on why he's not fighting the top fighters, yet he's always in social media kind of yapping off, and he refuses to come out of Nebraska and fight good fighters. So I wasn't really impressed with the win he had last fight because he's 35 years old. He is a little past his prime. He needs to fight these guys yesterday. And for some reason, whether it's management, whether it's him, I don't know, he can't get these fights. So it's hard for me to put him in the top 3 of pound for pound when he's not matching his skills up against the elite fighters in his weight class and in upper weight classes. I put Canelo Alvarez at number 5 just because of what you said earlier. He's going in all these weight classes and he's picking people that we have no idea they even existed before the fight. And he's collecting belts in different weight classes that nobody else really kind of cares about. Devin Haney comes in at number 4 for me. He's like one of the, I would have put him higher, but I want to see him against the Lomachenko's and different fighters that will give him more of a challenge. But I think I had the same feeling about him and another fighter that I had about Errol Spence earlier. I got to put Usyk in at number 3. The way he handled Joshua twice, Tyson Fury, for whatever reason, can't get the fight with Joshua. Even though people call him a inflated cruiserweight, he's proven to me that he can handle himself in the heavyweight division. So I'm going to put him 3. Unless Tyson Fury can get to him, I'll switch him at that particular time. Number 2 is Errol Spence Jr. I didn't want to play favorites and put him at number 1 because I just have an affinity for Errol Spence Jr., his style, the way he goes about his business. He is a fighter and a businessman, and he always puts himself in good situations, even though he had some mishaps with the car crashes, things of that sort. The number 1 fighter, I have to say, man, the undisputed champion is the monster. I got to put him at pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now at the end of the year. Until somebody proves me different, I'm putting the monster at number 1 for pound. He's earned it. A lot of people, a number of people will say, "Oh, he got the easy route to do it." It ain't easy being undisputed. The way he does it, he reminds me of Earl Spence. Goes in the ring, gets it done, and enough said. So we differ a little bit. I didn't put the Charlos in because it seems like it's few and far between their fights, and so they come out and then they do their thing, and then they kind of disappear for a while. So I want to see one of the Charlo brothers fight Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford's been calling him out. I want to see him fight some of the bigger fights. So for me, I would have to take Shakira Stevenson off the list to put a Charlo in, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it at this particular time. Thoughts, man?
No, I mean I get it. I understand about the monster. And I understand about Usyk. Some people are really impressed by, like you said, by what he did to Joshua. But my biggest thing with Usyk is you fought the wrong dude. Yeah. until you show me you can do that against two of the most powerful guys in the heavyweight division. And it's not his fault. I mean, Roy Jones kind of picked and chose who he wanted to fight in the heavyweight division. I think Usyk knew that he could get away with that against Joshua. But again, my question is, can you do that against Wilder? Can you do that against Fury? Yeah. I'm not sure about that. I mean, I think sooner or later somebody's going to catch you. And the question is, can you handle that? I mean, you are able to do what he did, Joshua, but I can't make you number one because you beat Joshua twice. I can't do it. I can't put you higher above Fury when you ain't been in the wars. Show me the war that Usyk's been in against somebody that we know. I mean, unless you're a cruiserweight fan. I mean, you beat Joshua twice, and Joshua's been a shell of himself. If you want to get that respect, then you got to take that, which he is going to do. So, and I'll tell you this: if he beats Fury, he can give me some. I give him more respect.
Yeah, and Joshua was talking about, he'll fight anybody, anywhere at this particular point. I don't know if he's just throwing up smoke signals or he realized that time is running out for him, and it's not looking good for him. But he's kind of touting that, hey, I'll fight anybody. Let's go. I'm ready. Maybe he's mentally ready. Maybe he's physically ready. I don't know, but I just couldn't put Deontay Wilder in the top 10 at this particular point. I always felt that he lost 3 fights to Tyson Fury. So if you lost to the same guy 3 times, then I just can't put you in the same category as that guy. Even though he's a hard puncher and he's going to probably make some noise in his future fights, show me something in future fights with Ruiz, with Usyk, with Anthony Joshua. Then I just want him to stay away from Tyson Fury at this particular point, because we've seen what happened with that.
Yeah, and I get, and to your point, I get it. I know that you could probably put somebody else in there instead of Wilder, but my point of it is, there's only one man that's been able to do that to him.
Yeah,
and I think he still carries weight. Nobody still wants to see Deontay Wilder. As much as they talk, nobody really don't want to see him. I would love to see him fight Usyk. So I would love that.
Yeah, and Devin Haney, I see him jumping up a little bit higher in this list. I don't see him backing down from anybody. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why I put Canelo back at 5 is because Earl Spence even put it out to Canelo, like, I'll come up and wait and I'll fight you. And you haven't heard anything from Canelo's camp. He's cherry picking, fighting Triple G, multiple times, all this stuff. It's like, he can't be the face of boxing doing that. There's one other story that we were going to talk about, a fight, Gervonta Davis, but he was arrested for domestic violence. I know we don't know too much about the story, but his fight may not happen on January 7th based on this incident.
You just never know, because you don't understand the full story and you like to get it, but sometimes you don't. We just got to go off what little tidbits that we know or receive. I don't know. Gervonta Davis has had issues with the law in the past and all kind of things. And you just kind of wonder, after you are become successful and you're living well, after what you've done in the ring, when do you stop to say enough is enough?
Yeah.
And I don't know if he is provoked, but unfortunately, You know, his record of being in prison, being in jail, being in bad situations, kind of supersedes him, even with the reputation that people have of him. So anything, even if this is a position where he really wasn't, it was kind of blown out of proportion, or it was ever he wasn't in the wrong, somebody was trying to set him, whatever it may be. And even if he was wrong, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt because of what has happened in the past, transgression. So you just hope a guy like that just kind of just lays low, man. But evidently not. And if there's an issue, then they're going to have to, they come for him. I mean, but his past moments, you just, I would want to see him grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, because I think if he acts a little bit more mature and grows up a little bit, he won't find himself in these situations.
Yeah. Hopefully this will resolve itself. Hopefully everybody involved will be in a safe place, and hopefully we can see him fight again. Fights that we're looking forward to see. I'm looking at Beterbiev, and I'm thinking that Canelo Alvarez. This will be the fight that I want to see. Of course, I want to see the Crawford Spence fight. I don't think that's going to happen next year. And Devin Haney and Lomachenko. What are some of the fights you want to see?
Wow, you took all the good fights, man. Took all the good fights.
I left the Charlos.
Huh?
I left the Charlos.
Yeah. Just because I think what did I see? I saw something where was it Tszyu?
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to be fighting Charlo. They said that Tony Harrison said he would step in and take that fight.
Okay.
I'd like to see that fight just because we'll see what Tszyu is all about. The fight I really want to see is, and depending on what happens with this court date, I want to see Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get that for a long time. I want to see that fight. I want to see, I know we won't get it though. I want to see Gerard Boots Anderson with somebody. You know, I would love to see him against Virgil Ortiz Jr. Mm-hmm. They're not going to do that because to have them two guys in there so quick, the money's, I guess they will wait for a bigger payday for them to continue to advance before they jumped in there with one another. But I'd like to see that, but that's not going to happen. And I want to see Shakur against somebody at 135 of significance. And what I mean by that, it's not going to be Haney right away.
Right.
But, you know, they're trying to throw Pitbull Cruz, who does not want that fight. But I want to see him against somebody of significance at 135. And I want to see it pretty quick. I would love, even though the way Bob Arum runs it, he already talking about setting up Haney and Lomachenko. I would love to see Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson.
I would also like to see Lomachenko with Teofimo Lopez. Yes. Again, I would like to see the rematch again, where a healthier Lomachenko, and see if he can avenge his loss to Lopez. I would like to see that also.
Or Teofimo Lopez versus Tank Davis.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
I'd like to see that fight. And I know that won't come together because he's not looking for that smoke. But yeah, I mean, because I think there's only a couple of cats that can beat Tank Davis.
Yeah.
But you got to be a superb boxer. Of course, down the line, it might be 3 years down the line. I would love to see Tank Davis versus Devin Haney.
He's Icewater. I'm Puma, and this is Fight Game.